Florian Wildenhof, 18-3 with 8 KOs. I'm T-Street Controversy, and this is T-Street Controversy Live. Listen, I get it. Chris Eubank Jr. looks dangerous. I get it. 17-0 with 12 KOs. He's on the verge of fighting 7 times this year. Biggest fight of his career, biggest fight of the year. He could be 19-0 with 14 knockouts if he defeats Florian Wildenhof this weekend. Actually, tomorrow, October the 25th, 2014. I cover every single major fight live. And what I've noticed about this fight is, this fight is bigger than the main event of Tyson Fury versus Dereck Chisora too. And I am a Tyson Fury fan. So what am I saying is, I'm saying that for people who don't have access to watch the fight, it's a shame. Because this fight means so much and I don't even live over there. You got Billy Joe, don't sound like he got no bitch in him. He on some shit to whereas he's saying like, I will go out there and I'm gonna whoop his ass. He been talking all this shit. I'm gonna show him that he's not his pop. So you got a belt. Now first, if I'm correct, it was 20,000 pounds that was offered to Chris Eubank Jr. not to fight this October 25th fight that Eubank Jr. already had scheduled. It was supposed to be a guy by the name of Jez Wilson, but now it's this guy by the name of Florian Wildenhof of Germany. So, long story short, he didn't want Chris Eubank to get injured or have a reason to pull out the fight. And that's just straight G right there. So, if you don't know about the negotiations of the fight was, there were some issues to whereas we didn't know if the fight was going to happen or not. One of the reasons why is because if you don't know who his father is, Chris Eubank Jr., I've been doing a lot of research on him, and he's very good as far at selling the fight and negotiations and things like that. So I picture, if you haven't seen Chris Eubank Sr. interact with his son, especially in an arena setting, in interviews and things like that, it's entertaining to the point of you like, what is this shit? But people like me understand it. Like, for example, Chris Eubank Jr. I'd be sitting in a corner. He'd go back to the corner after whooping on a guy he can knock out anytime he wants. And then you'll get his father come in, and it's a real story, come in with a blazer on, a suit jacket with the sleeves cut off, and a tie on under it. So imagine this, I'm Chris Eubank in the corner, you got this stiff ass face like. And then his pop just like get in the ring real slow, and his pop is not training him. He's just there for some type of support. So his pop gets into the ring, and his pop is looking at him like, on some like, what is this? Like, this is a specimen. And I picture Eubank Jr. probably when he get out the shower, he probably be in a mirror, butt ass naked, like. Then you see Eubank Sr. just pop up out of nowhere like, what we're going to do is we're going to hold out, son, as long as we can. That's how you play the game. And then he just looking at him like, look at you. You're an animal. No one can defeat you. I just pictured him hyping him up like that because it's I'm not going to say bizarre. It's entertaining, and it's showmanship to the point where they know what to do when they get into the arena. Now, as far as Chris Eubank Jr. is concerned, skill-wise, I've told you my issues with him. My issues that he fights in bursts, and more importantly, he hasn't fought anyone. Now, remember, before this year started, he was like 10-0 or 12-0 something. No, 12-0. So now, he's 17-0 with 12 KOs. Just saying like, all right, well, he's never been the distance. Billy Joe Saunders, and it's crazy because his opponent, Florian Wildenhof, he's been the distance. They threw him to the wolves like his third fight, or fourth fight. He was fighting 12-round fights. And that's crazy. But you got Chris Eubank Jr. who has not been the distance yet. So we don't know if all this all that shit. We don't know if he can be doing that in rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Billy Joe said, where you going? Who told you to leave? Where do you think you were going to go? You was going to go fuck some shit up. I'm not dumb. So we don't know if all that can last. We don't know who he really is as a fighter. We don't know. Okay, I guess he's a pressure puncher, pressure fighter, power puncher. I've seen him get hit with a lot of shots he shouldn't be getting hit, especially when he's doing all that. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, all right, you got Billy Joe who is seasoned. Billy Joe has the better resume, you know, as far as, you know, I mean, I'm not saying like by miles, but yes, he does. Billy Joe is not a prospect anymore. Billy Joe is a 160-pound contender, if you didn't know. You know, so he didn't really have to take this fight. And once again, you got to go back and give him credit, because now he's been talking that if he does not defeat, and I said in the video before, if he does not defeat Eubank Jr., you know, that he's going to retire. He said he's going to retire. So now, listen to this. There is now 100,000 pounds that has been put up. Now, Eubank Jr. don't got that money. That's just Pop's money. Let's just be real. So, and then it's going to come from the purse and all that type of shit. So let's be real. You got now both fighters agreeing. You got Billy Joe saying, okay, like if I lose, I'll give you 100,000 and I'll retire. And then you got to think on the side of Chris Eubank Jr. If he loses, guess what people are going to say? Oh, he not nowhere near his pop. He was just a how can I put it? You know, a hyped up bum. That's what they're going to say, because it's like, look, he was fighting on these bullshit undercards, and look, he got beat up by Billy Joe. That's what they're going to say. Now, Billy Joe's issue, you know, is that his stamina and conditioning. Simple as that. You know, like he got a rare, needed, seldom knockout when he knocked out the last guy, and I forgot what his name was. I covered the fight. But what we saw was he was slowing down in that fight in like round 5. And he's been known to slow down in fights before. So right now, you know, he spent the money. He said he spent the money at the press conference, the one that Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't at, you know, on the, you know, strength and conditioning coach, basically a team to make sure he's in shape. That's his issue. But it's going to be intriguing to see how this fight is going to go if it goes past round 6 or round 5. That's going to be the part of the fight that that should be what you concern yourself with. But right now, I said it. I got Billy Joe winning. I'm not even going to lie. I watch Chris Eubank Jr. fights. I cover his fights, and I see it. But he needs this fight to capture me. And it's like that with every boxer. You know, like when you first see a fighter that you know, okay, like, yo, he going to be good. You need to see a fight that makes you think like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, you know, like I knew it. This is that fight for Billy Joe for me. Just like Kell Brook had to defeat Sean Porter in order for me to be like, okay, all right, he's good. If you don't know, I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. I'm going to be covering that whole goddamn card. November the 29th, 2014. What is it, in the Echo Arena, if I'm correct? Please subscribe. Right down below, the website I'm associated with is Real Combat Media. I'm going to Hopkins versus Kovalev as a member of the media, and I'm going to shoot all the footage, you know, get to the post-fight press conference, that stuff like that, and provide you exclusive footage that I promised in the past. So Real Combat Media, right below the link, where we're doing a poll for Hopkins versus Kovalev. If you can please take the time to do the poll. You know, it's just 2 clicks. 1 click to open up the tab down below, and then go over and then click the vote. Simple as that. I'm going to be reading it out loud. You know, before the fight, or no, I'm going to do it the night before the fight. I'm going to read the results. T-Street Controversy Live. Subscribe.